iPad Today's educational apps are brought to you by Squarespace.com, the fast and easy way to publish a high-quality website or blog. For a free trial and 10% off your new account, go to Squarespace.com. Offer code iPadToday.
iPad Today presents educational apps, or an alternative name that somebody had suggested a while ago, Barry Morris, apps and gowns.
I like that.
Isn't that good?
I love that, in fact.
Thanks, Barry Morris. You win the crown for the best segment name yet. Apps and gowns, which is something that we can revisit a million times because there are so many educational apps. But we'll highlight 3 today.
That was the hardest thing for me, was narrowing it down to just a couple that we could talk about, because there's literally thousands in the App Store.
It's a big category.
So I tried to pick stuff that, to answer her question, that was appropriate for students in 8th grade, but also her kids could use. And I tell you, one of the things that I always wished I had as a parent, as my kids were going through school, is a better way to do flashcards, because flashcards are the best way to memorize anything.
It's the visual memory.
And I looked at a bunch of different flashcard apps, and this is the one I decided I liked the best. It's Flashcards Deluxe by Orange or Apple.com. There's a free light version, but it's kind of limited. Spend the $3.99. I mean, come on, $4, and you'll get the full version of Flashcards Deluxe. Now, it makes it, of course, very easy for you to create flashcards yourself. And you could change the colors, and there's some settings. But here's what I like. There is a standard kind of for flashcards called Quizlets. And if you go online, there are thousands of flashcard sets already created, and this program supports them. So you see arts and literature, languages, math and science. There's even standardized tests. So let's say you're preparing for the college admissions exams, the SATs, and it's not just one. It's loading them right now. There are hundreds of different exam tests to get you ready in vocabulary, in the various.
It's like
skills.
taking the LSATs.
Yeah.
In preparation for the SATs.
Did you say LSATs? There's also graduate school and beyond. There's GRE, LSATs. So if you're preparing, this will take you from 1st grade doing your basic numbers all the way up to graduate school, and you can download these Quizlets for free. There's information you see here about what you're going to get. In fact, these are the cards, so you could see ahead of time before you download them. Downloads are very quick because it's just textual information. And now I have a LSAT. You want to practice for your LSATs? Which one of the following most accurately expresses the main conclusion of the argument? Main point. Which one of the following most accurately expresses main point? Okay, thank you. Which one of the following most accurately expresses the conclusion of the journalist's argument? Anyway, you get the idea. This is the kind of stuff that's so painful to study for, and it makes it much easier.
Although
Here's
with
prepositions.
An iPad, you can just maybe spend like a
the focus is
half
bad.
an hour before you go to sleep and just sort of try to absorb some of this stuff.
Flashcards happen to be a really good way to memorize stuff, and this is a very simple way to put them on really what is exactly made to do flashcards, which is your iPad. Here's driver's ed.
Look, driver's ed. You don't have to go to summer school anymore. Or at least you'll breeze through the class.
And watch, you see when you're allowed to pass. When the driver, here, you want to try one?
Yeah.
Okay. So complete this sentence. You must have liability insurance.
You kill somebody in GTA.
To meet the financial responsibility law in Tennessee. This must be the Tennessee driver's ed. Evidence of reckless driving.
Killing someone in GTA.
Is speeding in a school is... Speeding in a school is... Some of these Quizlets are not great.
Are these Mad Lib Quizlets?
Wait a minute. I'm doing it backwards. It's kind of like Conan.
So they go to park your car in the ocean.
While the engine running and leaving it unattended. So you would have to know kind of what the quizzes
I do that sometimes in the city, but you have
leaving
to
it in the ocean?
No, double parking and running in to get a coffee.
It may be legal in the city, but in Tennessee it's obviously not. So this is a nice program. $4, and I just think it's very basic, but it really is gives you something that I think can really use. So that's pure hardcore drill and kill education.
Well, the app that I wanted to show off, and this is actually for Heather as well as anybody who's educating themselves, but it's also for educators. It's called Dragon Dictation, and I came across this in sort of a funny way because my mother is going through a very...
She can't write?
Yeah, she's very illiterate. No, she found her great-grandfather has a travel journal he wrote in 1885 with this very flowery cursive language, and she wants to reproduce it.
She wants to get it in text.
So she needed some good speech-to-text software.
This is the
best.
I
asked Twitter, And I said, well, what's the best speech-to-text software? I don't have much experience with it. And everyone said,
easy.
like by a huge margin,
Easy.
you got to go with Dragon.
There's not anything close.
Well, now Dragon, it's nuanced software, and they have a bunch of different versions, but they do have a free iPhone, iPad app called Dragon Dictation. So this is the free version. So it's a more simplified version of the $200 version that you can get for a Mac or PC. But let's say that you're a teacher and you're going through. Maybe you're going to practice a speech for your kids, or there's some sort of reason that you want to be able to have something written down that you've just spoken to. So I'll just go ahead and tap and dictate. It works pretty well.
Those are her hands.
Hey, Leo, I just wanted to show you how dictation works. I am not a teacher. I do not play one on TV, but I hope to never teach, ever.
The interesting thing about this is it's free. This is a several $100 program on Mac or PC.
Yeah.
And it's not doing the work on the iPad. It's doing the work on their servers. So basically that audio got uploaded to the servers, and then the servers sent back the text. And it does it pretty quickly. Is it pretty accurate?
Now, this is not terribly accurate, although I have to say...
I found it to be much better
I was
than
kind
that.
of leaning over and doing my silly voice. I practiced a few times last night, and it was pretty close. I never got it perfect. There's
Right.
always a couple words that were sort of off. But if for some reason you were reading something that was long and you wrote it, you read it out and were sure to enunciate properly, it's not far off. And if you've got something where you're going to have to be copying over, or you've got, I'm thinking, well, for somewhere in the kind of grade school to junior high and even some high school, there's a lot of emphasis on creative writing. Well, some kids are creative thinkers, maybe not so much creative writers with a empty page and a pencil.
To be able to talk it
keyboard
is really great.
at least you're giving people the option. So
We do that with my kids. We've done it in the past where I can't get started. I say, well, I will sit down at the keyboard, talk it, and I will be the dictationist.
There you
But
go.
this is really a great way to do it.
so it's free. It's a great way to not only try out Dragon, but have a free app, especially on the iPad, where you've got a lot of screen real estate, and it works really nicely.
DJ in Vermont is asking if all iPads have microphones. Yes, they do, DJ. So even if you only have a Wi-Fi one, there's a microphone. There's a little hole you can actually see on the top of it.
Yeah.
I think it's next to the on-off switch. No, it's on the next to the headphone jack. There's a little hole, and that's the microphone. And you're right, Sarah. If you are careful and you enunciate when you do this, I say it's about 80% accurate, which is more than good enough.
It is. It depends on how much of a slurry talker you are.
Yeah, you have to speak each word pretty clearly. Yeah.
But if you do, and you've got a project, it's a free app. What's not to like?
Now, another problem, especially 8th graders have, so her students will have this, is organizational skills. As you move from elementary school to junior high school, you have multiple classes, multiple assignments. It's a lot harder to keep track of stuff. And of course, that just continues right through high school and college. This is such a neat application. I kind of want this for me. It's called iStudies Pro, $3. Best app ever award winner in the education category 2009. And I would have to concur. There's an iPad and an iPhone version, and I think it would be great to have both because
I like how it's about studying, but kind of written in lawcat speak.
I don't know if that's actually accurate. What it is it is a iStudies. ICANN has studies. It's a day timer for students, and so you have on the left hand side you have your calendar, so you can see what you have to do on any given day.
Oh,
on the right hand
cool.
side, your assignments from that class. You see, here's the class information. You'll never miss another class. You turn on notifications. It tells you you've got an assignment. It tells you you've got, a class coming up. So it's specifically designed for kids. You could put grades in here. There's a course planner. So here's all the courses that I have in this semester. This is really going to help your 8th graders keep track of their classes, 7th graders and 6th graders, too, if they've entered middle school.
And it's so
Here's
much more
the assignments.
customized than trying to do this with like a Google Calendar or an iCal.
Oh, yeah. This is really designed for this. It even has priorities. So you could say, no, I've got to finish that English essay first. And then, so you have high, normal, low priority. You have in here all your different instructors and information about them, including email address. If you want to send an email, you just click the link.
Wow,
what
that's
classes
awesome.
you have. Let's go right to today's class here. I guess we're already in it. That's today. Lots of information in here. A calendar, a planner with to-dos. You have icons that make it a little bit pretty. You can even put your grades in here and your overall GPA if you want to keep track of that. So I have to say, this is a really nice
I love that
system. Yeah, iStudies
It looks
Pro.
really solid.
Back up your data, which is great, to the website.
And this is only $3. They have a light version, but $3 for all
well,
of
if you
this.
bought a day timer in an office supply store, it costs you more than that.
Totally.
And again, this is something to me that really fits the iPad's form factor. A student carrying this around, this is exactly, or frankly in the iPhone too. You're going to always have your day timer with you. And I think
it's the day timer and everything else, rather than the day timer plus the Trapper Keeper plus the peachy folders plus the pencils plus the dirty looks.
What is a Trapper Keeper? I don't think we had those in my day.
Trapper Keeper was like a plastic big
it would
binder,
hold the stuff.
and then it had the little fold over that it would Velcro, and you'd have like Transformers.
Oh yeah, that's because we didn't have
or
we didn't have Velcro in those days.
No Velcro?
No, NASA invented that after I got out of school.
Oh, Leo, you are ancient.
I had to learn to tie my shoes instead of Velcroing them.
Although I think there's probably a lot of people watching this that say Trapper Keeper. Sarah must be ancient. Never heard of it.
Yeah, right. Probably that's true too. Somebody's asking me, does this interoperate with iCal? It does not.
Okay.
That's a flaw. I think it should export to iCal. At least as far as I know, it does not. I haven't seen it do that.
Could be messy even if it did, though, because how would it?
Well, you could do all this stuff in iCal, but this is really designed for just that specific purpose.
It keeps you from having to assign all those behaviors yourself. So those are our 3 education apps. Of course, there are thousands more, and we'll
that's
revisit
just a beginner.
this.
Can I just show you my honorable mentions because I have a whole bunch of them. I'll run through them real quick. Ulysses Scene. This is the book of Ulysses in a comic book form, which makes it now. I have to say, Ulysses is fairly adult. I don't know if you teach this to 8th graders, but if you're having trouble getting your 8th graders involved in a book that's as difficult as Ulysses, you're going to love this. Not only is it beautiful looking, and this is the text of James Joyce classic Ulysses, but there's a study guide along with it. There's a lot of good information, and this is free.
Ulysses, the graphic novel, looks
the graphic
fun.
novel, and here's one for Leonardo da Vinci. Where is it? I can't find it. Oh, here's another one for molecules. You've probably also seen the elements. There's a ton of great stuff on the iPad for teachers. So just look in the iPad education category. You'll find a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, you could spend all day looking through some
wonderful.
of the stuff.
That's exactly what happened. I spent all night last night and said, I got to do this, and I came up with about 10 things that I'd like to have talked about, but those are the ones I thought were most
we'll
useful.
save them for next time.
We will.
There'll definitely be another edition of educational apps. For today, though, those are some of our favorites. So thanks for everyone who participated, and hopefully for everyone who asked for education apps. We gave you something to chew on for a little while. If you want the links to any of the back-to-school/education apps, people are now back to school, so this is a perfect time to get on some of the stuff. You can always visit iPad Today at twit.tv/IPT, and that's where you can watch our past episodes and subscribe to future ones, because I know you'll fall in love. And a quick reminder that we record iPad Today live on Thursdays. If you're not watching live, you can if you want. 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. And if you have app ideas your own, you can shoot us an email at iPadToday@twit.tv.
Very good. iPad Today this week brought to you by our friends at Squarespace. I know Squarespace does your blog.
They sure do. I love them.
What's it called? iSarah?
It's called SarahLane.com.
You sure you didn't want to do iSarah?
I think it's probably taken by now, but it's a good one. I should have thought of it.
So Squarespace is hosting plus software. It's everything you need to create an exceptional website, not just a blog. A lot of photographers use it because they have great gallery software. Social integration with all the social platforms, just fantastic. Not just Twitter and Flickr, but Quick, Pandora. It's all in there. Fantastic importing, too. And this is nice if you're going to try it. If you go to squarespace.com right now, actually go to squarespace.com/
It's just squarespace.com, but we do have a lovely promo code. Yes.
So I'll give you that code in a second. But if you go to squarespace.com, you don't need any code at all. You can set up a 14-day trial for free, no credit card needed. And here's what I like. You'd be able to import your content from Movable Type, WordPress, Typepad, Blogger, and there are a lot of Blogger-compatible blogs. So really, you can get data in, and by the way, data out.
I imported from Typepad with little to no issues at all.
So great.
Had to maybe fix a couple images, but almost completely seamless.
If you're one of those people who's being disenfranchised by Vox right now, I know they're going to move you to Typepad, but you might want to take a look at Squarespace. I think it's a little better. Templates that aren't templated. In fact, you want to know more about that, go to the examples. Every one of these looks different and unique. Sarah, you're in there if I go to blogs. So is our friend Kevin Rose.
Email sucks. Kevin Rose.
Email sucks.
I like
Kevin Rose. Jeff Kanata. Imus in the morning. Look at Imus's site. This, if you looked at this, you wouldn't say, "Oh, that's a Squarespace site." Every site is unique and different.
It's so customized.
But Imus starts with, as does everybody, these great initial templates, and then you customize it by drag and drop. Here's a Miles Davis blog. This is awesome. Oh, just love this. Everyone looks different. Everyone looks like it's personal.
It's personal and is also professional. I mean, there are a lot of WordPress blogs that are personal and obviously well thought out.
A little too personal.
And yes, but a lot of them just, I don't know, they just don't have that.
No, this is it.
That's something.
It's slick. It's easy to use. The iPhone app is fantastic, and of course, great stats too. Please go to Squarespace right now and try it out. Now, if you decide after those 15 days, you say, "I like that," you can get 10% off your new site for life.
Ooh.
Just use the offer code iPad today. Squarespace.com starts as low as $8 a month. Try it free right now and 10% off when you use iPad today.